Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to learn an alcohol technique that will slightly resemble our backdrop here. And I'm going to show you several different methods of alcohol ink today. But first I want to remove the shine from my nail tip. How are you guys doing today? You know, we're going to look back on this day as history because I am filming this video in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak. Today is March the 30th, 2020, and I hope we don't have to live through this again, you guys. So I've just taken the shine off of there. Let's go ahead and put a matte top coat on this, and while this is curing, I'll explain to you what kind of alcohol inks I use and why I like them. I actually have all different types of alcohol inks. And I like each one for something different, but I'll be explaining to you the difference in those and how they all work. So this is just a little bit of no wipe matte top coat, just like that. And let's pop this in the lamp. Okay guys, the first type of alcohol ink everybody is familiar with is a Sharpie permanent marker. If you take this apart, there's a wick inside of there, and that wick holds the permanent ink that flows down into this marker. So that's one type of alcohol ink. My thing I don't like about these is that they don't blend very well. I do have some issues with that. So I don't even use Sharpies to do alcohol ink with, but that is a possibility if you don't have anything else. The second type of marker, which I love, are Firefly alcohol markers. We have these in our online store. They have a broad tip. They also have a tinier tip. If you wanted to write something with that, you could do that. Very blendable, very fluid, blends beautifully onto the nail. I also have in my collection all of the Tim Holtz alcohol inks. Now these are found at places like Michael's, AC Moore, Hobby Lobby, those sorts of things. The thing that drew me to these inks are they have metallics. Let me kind of move this out of the way. Do you see how that is kind of separated? This is the silver. It just requires a little bit of shaking. As a matter of fact, I can put these on my polish shaker, and they do, hear that? They do really well on there. Those are mixing beads in there. And these metallic inks are highly metallic. Like this is going to be a silver platinum once that, look at that. It's like a silver chrome. So I'm in love with all of these Tim Holtz alcohol inks. They are very, very pigmented. They are some of the strongest alcohol inks I've ever used. Okay, the thing that I don't like about these, if I cannot use this straight from the spout on my client's nails, because this will flood the cuticle, it gets all over the skin, and this will not come off. So if you're going to use these, you need to put them out in a little tray or something like that, a palette to work from. So that is the third kind of alcohol ink. Inked, these are by the Profiles girls, Tracy and Amy, and I love these alcohol inks. It's almost the pigmentation of what was in that little bottle in here, and it has a nice brush on it. This is my favorite way to apply them, is with a nail polish brush applicator. So I have all of the colors from Profiles Backstage, and then I have all of the Apres inks as well. And this is what we're going to be using today. We're actually going to mix a couple of brands. We're going to use Tangerine from Profiles Backstage, and we're going to use 01, which is black, and 02, which is kind of a chocolatey color. The thing I love about these are, obviously, I love the presentation of this, the tall handles. The Apres inks also have a brush, okay? They're very easy to apply. The things I don't like about them, I would have to say the price, they're very expensive. Secondly, they are not quite as pigmented as what the Profiles brand is. You can get it there, but you're just going to have to put several layers on. However, They do go on very controlled. They don't run in your client's cuticle. So for that reason, like, these are probably my go-tos right here. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so in my little dapping dish, I have some Apres ink blending fluid. I'm gonna put about half blending fluid and about half regular acetone. I find that this is the best mix for myself to get the marbled look that I love. So I'm just gonna set that aside. I like to put a paper towel under it so I can blot my brush. My favorite brush for using, for doing alcohol inks is the Orly dry brush. This little brush just has a cat tongue on it. A lot of people use this to put their gel on with. It's called a dry brush because you can actually dry brush the tacky layer of your gel polish, and it prevents, let's say if you're applying black gel polish, it prevents the gel polish from pulling away from the cuticle. So that's why it's called a dry brush, but it works perfectly with this. Okay, fresh out of the lamp is a no wipe matte top coat. Alcohol inks always have to sit on a matte top coat. Now, even though this is no wipe, I'm going to wipe it anyway because I find that there's a tiny little residue even with no wipe that wants to hang on there, and you need all of that gone before you start applying your alcohol inks. So there we are. First up, let's start with our black one, 01. Here we go. There is no rhyme or reason to how I apply these. I tend to go more in a diagonal fashion here. Now you can see that kind of looks a little gray, a little purpley, something, something, something. Just keep going over that. Let's do a couple of layers, just like that. And you can see where it's starting to pool that she's getting darker. So now with the same brand in the 02, this is kind of the chocolatey one. Let's go with this one. And I'm just gonna nudge right up next to that because I want these colors to start to blend slightly. And the alcohol that's in this one, you can see is moving that that black around a little bit, and that's what we want it to do actually. Now I'm going to go back with the black again. Let's go in this outer area. Some people say that it doesn't really matter how you lay these colors down. I think it does. That's why I go a little bit at a time, because I don't want my colors to get all muddy and just overly blended. Okay, now we're going to go with this Profiles. This one is Tangerine. It's not really orange. It's more like a chocolate color, just a warmer chocolate. So it's like I'm using a cool chocolate and a warm chocolate together. So let's go in between. Okay, there we go. Okie doke, let's start to move our solution around. Right here's my little cup of fluid. I work from a, believe it or not, this is a piece of scrapbooking paper that I work from. So I tend not to put my liquids over on that paper because I don't want to mess that up. But let's just saturate our brush, and really no rhyme or reason to this. Let's just get this on there and let it start moving these colors around. Now, when I'm working on a client's finger, I like to have them tilt their finger down this way. That way, anything that's pooling, see right here, this would be in my client's cuticle if their finger was flat. So you'll want them to keep their finger tilted downwards so gravity can pull that excess liquid down. So right now we're just getting this liquid on here. Then this is all about putting the liquid down and picking the liquid up, putting it down and picking it up. Now, wherever it's pooling, use a dry brush. Let's see if I can move my little cloth over so you can see what I'm doing. See right here? Put the liquid on, blot off, pick up the liquid. The liquid will soak into a brush that's been dried out. So really quickly, we're going to work with this. Dab, dab, dab. You see how these pretty veins are starting to form? And let's just let that dry for a second. I love this that we're getting through here. So let's kind of reinforce that. Now, let's wipe off your brush because you don't want a lot on here. Tap, 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 tap. This is how we get those little teeny tiny, almost looks like a marble countertop, right? And I'm actually loving the way that that pulled down here at the bottom. Small little taps. Because everywhere I touch it now at this point, it's getting this beautiful, beautiful marbling. And I'm just going to keep working. Be patient. Don't get in a hurry with this, because if you do, you won't get the result you're looking for. What's happening here is some of the ink is evaporating, and the alcohol in the solution is drying the ink very, very quickly, and that's what you want. If you're all the time working with wet ink, you're not going to get this pretty veining like I'm getting. You've got to let this dry a little bit in between the times that you're touching this to start this gorgeous, gorgeous marbling. Ooh, pretty. I'm going to accent this with a little bit of gold alcohol ink. At this point, I'm looking for places in my nail that are whiter. You see this? That's paler through there, and I can keep wiping out that color and showing some of this initial white that I had on here. You know, you can do this over a nude nail, but it's not as pretty, because whatever color you put under the bottom is going to change these alcohol inks. And so this won't look as pretty on a nude nail as it would on the white. Look at that, how beautiful. Now, I don't want to take away this darkness through here. I'm just accentuating a tiny bit. Okay, so let me point out something. Do you see how the color isn't going all the way to the edge? With just a damp brush, just kind of do this, because this is the sidewalls of your client's nail, and I keep seeing alcohol inks that don't go all the way to the cuticle. They don't go to the perimeter of the nail, and this is why. So just lightly blend that in. Okay, so next up we're going to go into our shiny Candy Chrome series. And this is a set of metallics. These are really, really pretty. So the champagne is what I'm using on this. Now, we need a tacky layer for this to adhere. Plus, listen to me closely, there is nothing sticky left on this nail for a top coat to adhere to. If you top coat this at this point, your client will be back in a couple of days and that top coat will peel right off the top of here. She needs a base coat. She needs something sticky on the top coat to stick to. So always, always, always seal up your alcohol ink nails with a base coat. Okay, so in the tacky layer, I have already begun to apply the shiny, is it champagne? Is that what I'm using? Yeah, shiny champagne Candy Chrome. Just randomly. I think it's pretty to pick out one spot that you can kind of concentrate it a little. And then the rest of the nail, just kind of here and there. You just want enough to catch the light. and kind of follow your veining a little bit if you can. Now at this point, it's ready for a top coat. You could matte top coat this. You could shiny top coat it. I think it's pretty with shiny because you want your you want these shiny gold flakes to stay shiny. So I'm going to use the Profiles Outshine. We sell that on our website here. I'll show you what it looks like. It's a no wipe top coat. I wear this nail so much when I'm traveling because I get tons and tons of compliments when I have this nail on. And truly, it goes with anything. If you're wearing a set of nude nails, you can do this as the accent nail, and it's so, so pretty. And what we want to look for specifically is the reflection of the light line straight in here. If not, we don't have our nail smooth enough. And we would need to go back and buff that so that it is smooth. And this one is smooth. Okay, I'm going to cure this and I'll meet you right back here. Ah, how beautiful. There, my friends, is our marbled nail with shiny gold champagne. And remember, this needs to go over white so that you get the true color of your alcohol inks. Thanks for stopping by, and watch for more of my tutorials here on our online education channel.